We are live. What's going on, everyone? Thank you all so much for tuning in. Really appreciate everyone here at this time. Anybody that's watching this on the replay, thank you so much. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel. Hey, Lakers fought. No LeBron. This felt like a game that, like, if LeBron was there, you kind of maybe, hopefully, win. We just couldn't get over the hump, right? We get it to like 5, or we get it to like 2, or we get it to like 7. And then they would just go on a run. And then we'd get it back to like 5, and then they go on a run. And we get it to 2, and then they go on a run. It's just like, it sucks. And the problem is we keep teetering back and forth with wins and losses, right? Like, we need to get some steam. We need to get ahead. We need to figure out how to string a couple wins together. The next 4 games are very winnable. And if we play the way that we played today and you add LeBron to the mix, the Lakers should probably win those 4 games. The problem is that, it's just no trust in them, right? It's like, the Lakers are just so consistently inconsistent. And it's like, game in and game out, we don't know which Laker team is going to show up. We don't know which players on a regular basis are going to show up. Outside of D'Lo and Anthony Davis the last few games, and LeBron James, obviously, but D'Lo's still having an excellent run. He's looking really good. I like what we're seeing from D'Lo. He continues to impress. He continues to shine. I don't know how you look at this game and what D'Lo has done and want to keep D'Lo over Austin Reaves. D'Lo's just doing everything, right? He's putting on a clinic. He's getting guys involved. He has his mistakes here and there. Everyone does, like every team does, or every player does. But for the most part, he's our best shooter. He's our best playmaker, not named LeBron James. He's been, again, solid defensively. He's not elite. He's not all defensively, but he's good enough. He's serviceable enough. I just keep defaulting to go get DeJounte Murray, if that's who you really want. Go get DeJounte Murray, trade Austin Reaves, keep D'Angelo Russell long term, and you're set. Now you got D'Lo. You could go D'Lo and you could go DeJounte Murray. Give it a little look, see how that works. If it doesn't work, you give it the 7 games or whatever that the Lakers have between now and the trade deadline. And if D'Lo and Murray are a little shaky, a little rough, then go trade D'Lo, because you could probably keep a first if you give up Austin Reaves. Because right now, based on reports, it appears that it's, D'Lo, Jalen Hood-Schifino, first-round pick, and a pick swap. Okay, well, can you keep that first if you give up Austin Reaves? That would be my argument. Hey, you want Austin Reaves? Fine, we'll give you Austin Reaves, but only if you're willing to allow us to keep the first. So then now you could go into the offseason, which reports came out today that the Lakers want to go into the offseason and potentially make a move to go get a Donovan Mitchell or something. You'd still have 3 firsts. You'd still have 3 firsts to go make that happen if you wanted to. And then if you want to turn D'Lo into DeJounte Murray, or, Rui in pieces to go into, or not DeJounte Murray, into Donovan Mitchell in the offseason, you could do that. Or you can make another trade, piece it around. It gives you so many more options, assuming you can keep a first and give up Reaves. But they desperately want Reaves, so it's okay, you can have Reaves. Give us DeJounte Murray, get that deal done, run D'Lo and Rui, or D'Lo and Murray. So you run those 2, see how it looks. If it doesn't look right, then you can still have time to go move D'Lo if you need to, or you figure it out in the offseason. You could sign and trade him. You could do whatever, right? It just... Again, Austin Reaves, he's not who we need him to be, unfortunately. I like Austin Reaves a lot. He had a couple good defensive sequences in this game, but for the most part, I don't see Austin Reaves being the guy that we need him to be on a consistent, regular basis this season. And the problem is he's never really going to, because even if you go and trade for DeJounte Murray, let's say you trade D'Lo for DeJounte Murray, Reaves is still going to be your 4th best player. D'Lo is clearly your 3rd best player. So imagine if he was now your 4th best player, and if he has a bad game or he has an off game, it's fine because you'd have a DeJounte Murray, you'd have a LeBron James, you'd have an Anthony Davis. And then the games where he's on and he's hitting and he's playing the way he's playing right now, you're probably going to win all those games, right? So I just lean towards just they want Austin Reaves, give him Austin Reaves. Give him Austin Reaves. You're flipping a guy, you're selling high on a guy that just hasn't produced the way that we need him to produce. And look, if Austin Reaves goes to Atlanta and he becomes a superstar, so be it. I don't see that happening. I think he's closer to his ceiling than he is his floor. And so, let's say he even becomes an all-star. Okay, well, you have an all-star point guard and DeJounte Murray at that point. You got an all-star, a guy in D'Angelo Russell who's been an all-star. I just look at it as like you'd be better defensively, you'd be better offensively. You'd have both of those guys that can make plays. Both guys are shooting 40% from three. If it doesn't work out, you just go make the move to trade D'Lo, whether it's at the trade deadline or in the offseason or whatever. Right? My point is you just figure it out. But I don't know. Again, we'll see. Time will tell. But I'd like to see the Lakers do something. Because right now it's just we just keep trading wins. And unless we have some miracle turnaround, which we've played enough games to see that it's probably not going to happen. Right? So unless you make some big impact move, I don't know. But anyway, we'll see how it goes. But let's dive into the box scores. After we dive into the box scores, we'll answer all your super chat questions, all your regular questions, all of that stuff. Real quick, like the video, subscribe to the channel. You guys are beautiful. Torian Prince. Not a great game, but he wasn't bad. He hit a couple big key shots, had a couple nice drives. Defensively was solid. Gave you 11 points, 2 blocks, 2 steals, 2 assists, 3 rebounds. Nice, solid game. Rui, 5-8 from the field, 1-1 from 3, 11 points, 2 assists, 3 rebounds, 1 steal, 1 block. He's another guy I'm okay with trading. I like Rui a lot, and I think long-term he makes sense, but I just think if you could turn him into a piece that makes more sense with right now, I think you do it. Anthony Davis, 12 of 20 from the field, 12 rebounds, 2 assists, 26 points. Solid game from AD, no complaints there. Austin Reaves, 5 of 14 from the field, 2 of 8 from 3. Again, can't knock down the 3 ball with any level of consistency. He just doesn't have his shot this season. He's just really bad shooting the ball. 2 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals, 1 block, 3 turnovers, 12 points. And then you look at D'Angelo Russell, 9 of 21 from the field, 4 of 10 from 3. So again, 40% from 3, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, 27 points. He did have 5 turnovers. Got to take care of the ball. Got to do a better job of taking care of the basketball. But, a couple of those were just miscommunications. A couple of those were bad passes, but, you're going to turn the ball over occasionally. But, again, D'Lo, excellent game by him. He continues to shoot well, continues to be aggressive, continues to find his stroke, find a shot, continues to find others. This is what I'm talking about. I mean, this is a perfect example. The guy gives you 27 points and still has the ability to go get you 10 assists. So, I just think you keep D'Lo. I really do. Jared Vanderbilt was solid on both ends, gave you 12 points, 9 rebounds. He was killing it on the offensive boards, man. He was getting after it. He had 6 offensive rebounds, which is crazy. He had double the amount of offensive rebounds as he did regular rebounds, which was solid. Reddish had a nice game, hit a couple shots. Hopefully he's okay with his ankle. Christian Wood, 2 of 2. I would have liked to see him play a little bit more because I just liked his aggression. I liked how he was rebounding, even some defensive plays and stuff. But nonetheless, we got to figure it out, right? But anyway, let's move on. Let's dive into all of your super chats and regular questions and stuff like that. Let me get to the top here. All right, Andrew. They have to trade Reaves. I agree. I just think you're better off. Sell high while you can, right? I understand he gives you a little more flexibility. I understand he's on a very reasonable contract. but he might not be. I mean, he's kind of playing like a $12 million a year guy. So he might just be, that might just be his value. But my point is like, you assuming the reports are true, which there've been enough of them from enough credible people that there's got to be some truth to it. Atlanta wants Reaves. So again, go trade Reaves. Can you keep a first? Can you tell them like, hey, we'll give you Reaves, but we want to keep one of our firsts? Or you give up Reaves and you get other pieces, like give up Reaves, Rui, Gabe Vincent, whatever. Keep D'Lo. Go get I don't know, a Clint Capella or something, or go get a Bogdanovich or something, or a Hunter, something that maybe could be an upgrade at the 2 spot, right? Or the 3 or whatever. Keep D'Lo. I don't know. I think that they should trade Reaves also. I mean, I love Vandal's hustle, but he neutralizes himself so much by being so easy to guard. Amazing rebounding, amazing D, but 3 of 9 from the field won't cut it for me personally with 2 turnovers. We need a shooting guard or a small forward who can do both. We desperately need either a Caruso or Dorian Finney-Smith to close games. I like star player is essential, but this is number 2. Yeah, I mean, I've always maintained like we need, like if you just get DeJounte Murray or we just get a Zach LaVine or we just get like some individual guy, I still think it's not going to be enough to like make us a contender. Again, you never really know, right? Get DeJounte Murray, he becomes San Antonio DeJounte Murray. He's like locked down defensively, goes and gives you 23 and 9 a game, and still can maintain 40% from 3. You know, you'd be surprised what that kind of impact could do on a regular basis. But realistically, like I just think even if he's good, like let's say he's really good. Let's say he's like as the 3rd option, 20 points, 6 rebounds, 8 assists, and is like serviceable defensively. I don't think that that's going to be enough to completely turn around this roster. But if you got like him and a couple other people like Dorian Finney-Smith, or I don't think you're going to get Caruso. They just want too much for Caruso, and there's too much bidding. And like I've always said, as long as there is teams that are bidding actively for a player, the Lakers just are very limited, because that means Chicago will get a first for Caruso. Now, I'm not saying they're going to get a lottery pick for Caruso, but they'll get some like late first. And the problem is the Lakers only have 1 first. So like you basically would have to pick. Like, do you want Caruso or do you want DeJounte Murray? I like Caruso a lot, but I'd rather have DeJounte Murray. So I mean that's where the Lakers' issue lies. But again, if you could go get if you could trade Reaves, go get DeJounte Murray, then maybe you could go trade for Caruso and Andre Drummond and get a first, or give up a first. And, which I don't really, not super sold on the Lakers doing something like that. But, if you have DeJounte Murray, Caruso, or you could go, I mean, you could even go like DeJounte Murray, D'Lo, Caruso, LeBron and AD. There's options there. But personally, I think they should just trade Reaves. I really do. I think Reaves, I love Reaves, but we're in win now. So we need a point of attack ASAP. Hopefully Gabe returns post All-Star break, but one of D'Lo and AR need to be flipped for a point of attack defender. Yeah, I think one of them definitely has to go. And the Lakers seem determined to trade D'Lo. I just think you don't, if you trade Reaves, you don't have to find a 3rd team now. So it doesn't get as complicated, doesn't get as muddy, doesn't get as messy. You probably, like I said, could keep the first or maybe even the pick swap. So now you have at least the pick swap, and then D'Lo and Gabe and Rui and everything else to maybe go make another move or 2 or whatever. You got some seconds. There's a couple guys on the market that right now teams are trying to get a first for, but come the trade deadline, those guys will probably go for a second or a couple seconds or something. I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. What is wrong with Reaves? He is just 0-way player. It's just teams have figured him out. You know, like it was one of my big concerns. Look, I hyped Reaves up tremendously in the offseason. But one of the big things that I talked about in all of those videos, as much as I hyped up Reaves, was how different it'll be this year for him and how I have my concerns because now there's tape on him. Now teams have adjusted. Now he's on the whiteboard. You know, now teams have figured out and know what are his favorite moves, things like that. I think also part of it is like he can't hit threes to save his life, at least with consistency. So it's just you factor all those things in. He's taken a big step backwards defensively. Teams are targeting him. I just think you put all those together, it's like Reaves is basically pedestrian at this point, and he's just not the guy that we thought he was going to be. I just thought, personally, I thought Reaves, with his IQ and his craftiness, because he is crafty, I thought he'd be able to adjust and figure it out. But I also didn't plan for him shooting like 30% from three. Like I thought if he was like 40%, he'd probably give you 20 a game, which like if you take his averages and if he was shooting 40% from three, he's basically averaging 20 a game. Problem is he just can't shoot. And at this point, teams are just okay with him just being wide open and taking deep threes and whatever. Couldn't get a stop or hit shots down the stretch. Yes, absolutely. Tyler, do you think the Bucks should trade for DeJounte Murray and Zach LaVine? The Milwaukee Bucks, I see zero path to them getting either of those guys. I mean, maybe technically they could get LaVine, right? Like if they wanted to swap Middleton for LaVine, but like that doesn't make sense to them. I mean, they'd have to. I think that they'd have to include something else. But like Milwaukee has like zero tradable draft picks. Like I don't think they have a single tradable draft pick. So they're definitely not getting Murray. They have no like players or salaries that teams want. And why would the Bucks want Middleton? Or not the Bucks? The Hawks want Middleton. I just don't see a scenario where the Bucks upgrade. I think that's one of the big reasons why they fired Griffin, right? Adrian Griffin, I think, one, he seemed to have lost the locker room. There was drama. There was whatever. But I think another big thing is like they just, yes, they have a great record, but they have a lot of flaws and they have a lot of issues that are probably going to be hugely exposed come playoff time. And they just don't have a way to upgrade the roster. They're stuck with the roster that they have. So what other choice do you have? Okay, well, you just go fire the coach. You know, and you get a new coach. And they're going to sign Doc, or I guess they already did sign Doc Rivers or whatever. But even then, I'm not sold on Doc Rivers. I'm not a big Doc Rivers guy, personally. I think he's underachieved more than he's done anything. LeBronto. I knew it as soon as I heard that LeBron would be out, that it would be yet another game where we fight through, but come up short. Yeah. But whatever, the Flippers really needed us without LeBron to win. Yeah, I mean, look, I still think the Lakers, like, if get us to the playoffs, if we ended up playing the Clippers, I think we beat the Clippers. We've matched up well. We've beaten them twice, and then even without LeBron, we were in striking range late. We just couldn't shoot and close down the stretch. Otherwise, we might have won this game too. So I just, I'm not really worried about the Clippers. I'm just glad we fought. I'm not going to lie, without LeBron, I was kind of worried that we were going to get blown out. I was kind of worried that it'd be one of those games where, like, yeah, maybe D'Lo gives you like 30 and AD gives you like 30, but we still lose by like 30. But I was glad to see that we actually hunt around and we're in it. But I don't know. We'll see. Time will tell. Let's see. Unrealistic. But if there is any way to get Mitchell this season, yeah, that's not this season. I'm doing whatever it takes. Mitchell is essentially the same idea as LaVine, but better. What is Denver going to do if the third best player is better than Murray? Yeah. No, I touched on this earlier in a video. There was the report that came out that the Lakers may end up just waiting until the offseason and end up, because at that point, going into draft day, they would have 3 firsts that they could trade. technically they'd have to draft one guy for a team, but yes, they could technically move 3 firsts. So realistically, at that point, if Donovan Mitchell becomes available, the Lakers could probably get him. Because you could do something like, Rui, Austin Reaves, 3 first-round picks, and whatever salary filler, and boom, there's Mitchell. And that would be pretty comparable to like what most teams would be willing to offer. Question is one, does Donovan Mitchell even want to go to the Lakers? Secondly, do the Cavs even make him available? And then third, do they end up re-signing him, or not re-signing him, but extending him, giving him a new contract? That's also a real possibility. So my concern is like, yes, you could wait into next season and see what star becomes available, because like every year there's like 2 or 3 stars that become available, right? So yes, there is an idea of that. And look, I've talked about this several times the last like month. I even made a video about it on the Lakers show channel, where I was like, should the Lakers just stand pat? Here's what would happen if the Lakers stand pat. So I've talked about this heavily, and now it's being reported that is an option for the Lakers. I at least want to see the Lakers upgrade around the edges, right? So like if the goal is to like, okay, well, DeJounte Murray, if we can get him, we'll get him. But if we can't, then we might as well just stand pat, keep our first. I would at least like to try to get a couple upgrades without giving up a first, right? Because again, there's a couple guys like even like Dorian Finney-Smith right now. The Nets want a first or a quality young player. Right? If you could turn Rui into him, I would do that. But even if they're like adamant about a first, come trade deadline, that first might be 2 seconds, right? So then maybe you could just get him for 2 seconds or something, right? Or swap him for Rui, like I mentioned. If you could do something like that, then I'd be all for it. Like go get that, maybe go get like an Andre Drummond, right? So now you got your backup center. Basically, go get like 2 or 3 just quality like rotation pieces where it's like, okay, we have LeBron, AD, right? We have Jared Vanderbilt, we have Austin Reaves, D'Angelo Russell, and then like 2 or 3 rotation pieces. And then going into next year, if Donovan Mitchell becomes available, now we can take Rui, Reaves, or if you traded Rui for whatever pieces, right? Then it's like, okay, well, we'd have Reaves, Gabe Vincent's contract. We'd have 3 first-round picks. We'd have, basically my point is you could get to like that. So now it's like, okay, well, now we did trade for Mitchell, and it's like, okay, well, we got, Mitchell, Vanderbilt, LeBron, AD, and then let's say Dorian Finney-Smith, Royce O'Neal, and Andre Drummond. Just throwing names out there. Not saying anything. Just names that came to mind, right? So it's like, okay, now we got at least a legit 7 guys, right? Who now we're just kind of filling in the blanks. I would be all for something like that. Tyler, please tell me we have a trade coming, because I hate losing like this. I mean, your guess is as good as mine. I hope so. I do. I hope so. I personally think the Lakers are going to make some type of trades. Will it be Donovan Mitchell, or not Donovan Mitchell, DeJounte Murray? Time will tell. We'll see. But I definitely think a trade's coming. Andrew, air value keeps going down. Got to do the move ASAP. I'm with you. You have teams that are calling. You have teams that want him. You have teams that are interested. What if this is who he is, right? So right now, you have all these teams that are still looking at him as like, okay, he's still a very good player, right? And teams are looking at him as like, okay, like if we got him, then like that would be a nice, at worst, rotation piece. Maybe a guy that could, really make an impact on this roster, right? Be a playmaker, be an off-ball guy, whatever. So to me, it's like, get the deal done now. Move off of Reaves now, right? DeJounte Murray is better than Austin Reaves. He just is. And, you make that move and then you figure it out, right? I know that there's concerns about the the various aprons and like if they have to re-sign D'Lo and all that stuff. But like, what if you trade for DeJounte Murray? You keep D'Angelo Russell, and what if we do win the championship? Then who cares about the apron? Re-sign everybody and let's run it back. Or what if we get to the finals and we lose? Or what if we lose in a tough 7 in the conference finals? And it's like, man, okay, this team is really good. Like, it's not just a fool's gold thing. Like, DeJounte Murray is really making that kind of impact. D'Lo playing alongside Murray works, right? Jared Vanderbilt as like that, energy defensive guy. LeBron James and Anthony Davis, obviously. Like, my thing is just like, get the move done, get the deal done, and then figure out the rest, right? If you really like DeJounte Murray and you think he's the move, my thing is like, if you don't like DeJounte Murray enough to trade Austin Reaves for him, then clearly you don't value DeJounte Murray. So then just move on and let's go do something else, right? You either really value DeJounte Murray or you don't, because there is no, Reaves is that much better than D'Lo. Like, even if the Lakers think Reaves is just having a bad stretch, there's no way that they think he's that much better than D'Lo, right? So if you could keep the better player and still trade Austin Reaves and get the All-Star, do you like DeJounte Murray or not? If you like DeJounte Murray, then go get DeJounte Murray. What are we waiting for, right? If you don't like DeJounte Murray, then move on, is my point. That's what's kind of frustrating with me. Because it's like you either think he's an impact guy or you don't. You either think he's good enough or you don't. And then the D'Lo part of it, you figure it out, right? Maybe you could still go trade him, right? You could still go trade D'Lo if you wanted to. Find another partner, find somebody, whatever. Like the Nets could use D'Lo. Maybe you could swap D'Lo and go get, Spencer Dinwiddie or something, right? Just to like round it out. I don't know. Like, but my thing is like, do you like DeJounte Murray or not? If you like DeJounte Murray, then go get DeJounte Murray. If you don't, then move on and go find some other pieces. Go find some other trades, is my point. Red Bill. Christian, I appreciate you. Can we please trade AR? He's bad. It's really bad. Yeah. I mean, I just was going on this rant. Like, I do. I think you just trade him. Again, you either like him or you don't. If the Lakers, like, the one thing I would, like, if I could sit down and ask, like, Jeannie and Rob anything, it would be what I just said. It'd be, hey, do you guys believe that DeJounte Murray is an answer to a lot of our problems? Yes or no? Do you think DeJounte Murray is a real impact player? Yes or no? Right? If you're willing to trade D'Lo and 2 firsts, essentially, then you clearly think he's better, at least 2 firsts better than D'Lo. So you're telling me if you could keep a first, you wouldn't trade Austin Reaves? Right? Even if you think Austin Reaves is slightly better than D'Lo, right? Which I don't believe that, but let's say the Lakers do. Even if they believe, Austin Reaves is the better player, right? Okay, is he better than DeJounte Murray? No. So you'd be getting the best player in the deal. And what if you could keep a first? So you get the better player, you give up a pick swap, and you give up Austin Reaves, and you still get to keep D'Lo. You have a first-round pick, or even if you give up the first, but you keep the pick swap. So now you still at least have other tradable pieces. You have a pick swap. You'd still have 2 firsts and a pick swap to trade at the trade deadline, or not the trade deadline, at the draft date. Like you got DeJounte Murray, Anthony Davis, LeBron James, and then 2 firsts and a pick swap with a bunch of tradable salaries. I mean, even Jared Vanderbilt would become available if you needed to trade him to go get another star. And then, like, what if Donovan Mitchell does become available? Right? You'd have all the pieces to go get Donovan Mitchell. And imagine if you had, like, DeJounte Murray, Donovan Mitchell, LeBron James, and Anthony Davis. Like, you're probably winning the championship that year if it works. Like, that's just what I want to know. Like, all I want to know is, like, Jeannie, Rob, do you guys think DeJounte Murray is an upgrade over D'Lo and Reaves? Do you think he is going to provide a big impact for this team? Do you think he is a piece for not only now but the future? If all of the answers are yes to that, then what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Like, that's my point. I hate to say it, but trade Reaves. It's long overdue. Agreed. What's that about LeBron sitting for an ankle injury? Poop. I mean, no, if the ankle's really bothering him, you don't want him to get worse. I mean, you're already in a bad spot. If LeBron goes down, your season's over. You're better off just taking the L and then giving him, a couple days of rest, kind of milk that, and then he can get back and maybe he can rattle off a couple wins here. Gotta sell him while he's still available. Yep, I'm right there with you. Be locked in him. Yep. Trade Reaves and Rui, get a big man, and keep D'Lo. D'Lo is more valuable. I think they should keep D'Lo too. LaVine, Caruso, Drummond, and maybe Craig fixes most. I would love that. It is actually quite a feat to be consistent at beach every other game he affects. Just win one, lose one. Win one, lose one. What's going on, Jay? Appreciate you being here. Zero faith in this team. I feel it. If we can get Dorian Finney-Smith or a O'Neal with that trade, everything. Yes. Trade now. I'm with you, Tom. Man, Reaves is a regular player. They need to wake up and trade him. I agree. Same story. AR has a bad game. D'Lo has a good game. Both got to go. Good game, LA. If Braun played, I think we win. I do too. This kind of felt like that game. Not playing Z Wood in the final 4 minutes. I mean, he was cooking. Yeah, I wish they played him a little more. He was playing well. We just couldn't stop the Clippers from scoring. They couldn't miss to save their lives. Yeah, I mean, well, at least we were competitive. I was worried about us just getting ran through, and I'm glad we were at least competitive. Ham should get more minutes on using Rui and Wood more in the paint because there's no Zubac. Yeah, I would have liked to see that a little more. 6-15 on the road, we are terrible. Yes, and you got to win on the road, especially because the Lakers aren't going to have home court at all, even if they do make the playoffs. He's a liability on defense, player, mediocre offense. Yes. Look at Krillin's bald head. Looking at the Dragon Balls. Yeah, thanks. Andrew, coming out with the $5 super chat. Thanks so much. Lakers got to go for LaVine, Caruso, Drummond, sign Kyle Lowry on a buyout to fill out guard depth. Try and get a 3 and D if possible. We got to call Chicago. The problem is the Lakers. We got another report today that the Lakers have completely pulled out of LaVine. Like they're too worried about his injuries. He got hurt twice. I don't think they're going to do it anymore. I don't. I mean, I still like the idea of Zach LaVine, especially if you can get Caruso and Drummond. Right? I just think that would be incredible. Get me LaVine, Caruso, Drummond. That solves like 90% of your issues. Right now, it's just boils down to like, can Darvin Ham be serviceable, and can the rest of the guys show up regularly with energy and effort? But realistically, it's just, I mean, now we've had 4 or 5 reports, all from different credible people that have all said, yeah, the Lakers, they're not going to touch LaVine. They're just not. They just don't want to risk it, which I understand. I get it. You don't want to risk it because, like he keeps getting hurt. You go and you invest everything into him, and then he keeps getting hurt, and now like the season's a wash. And it's like you just gave up all these assets to try to turn your season around, and he can't even, and he's not even playing this year. And look, I'm not one of those people that like LaVine's played plenty of games the last few years, right? Like even when people, he's injury, like he's really not that bad. But he has had not like major injuries, but they are like concerning, and he's sat out. And so I just think like if the Lakers were like flushed with assets, right? Like if they were like not even the Thunder, if they were like the Knicks before the OG trade, right? And they just had like 5 or 6 first-round picks to trade, and they had a bunch of tradable salaries and stuff like that. I could see them maybe taking a risk on LaVine and then being like, well, if it doesn't work out, we could always just get other pieces, or we could always, like, we still have the stuff to go unload LaVine or whatever. But I just think with the Lakers, they only have 1 first, and you're probably going to have to give that up in a LaVine, Caruso, Drummond trade. I just don't. I believe the reports that the Lakers are going to. I'm not saying that it's impossible, but I just think I think the Lakers at this point, I think the Lakers would stand pat because LaVine's not going to go anywhere, right? So I think the Lakers would, if LaVine is their only option, I think that they'll just ride this season, take the L, and then see what happens in the offseason. And then if it doesn't work out and Donovan Mitchell or somebody like that doesn't become available, then maybe they'd go and make the move for LaVine and kind of look at it as, okay, we'd have a full offseason, a full training camp, full preseason, kind of get him, involved and do what we can to keep him healthy type thing. That's kind of how I'm looking at it. Again, I love LaVine. I hope that I'm still all for them going to go trade him. Go do it, right? Go keep D'Lo if you can too and go get LaVine. But I just think, again, we've gotten enough reports that I don't think it's going to happen. I really don't. If they bunt the season, it's a wrap, to be honest. No time. Yeah, I mean, I think right now, just again, I mean, you never know until the trade deadline pass. But just based on like the information that's out there, it looks like it's going to be DeJounte Murray or bust. Is kind of what it looks like. It looks like the Lakers are either going to land DeJounte Murray, or they're going to, call it a season and just ride this out. Now, I'm not saying that they won't make like a smaller trade or anything, like, maybe they do go get a Dorian Finney-Smith or something like that if they can get him cheap, or find some like random player, right? Maybe it's even somebody we're not talking about or thinking of, right? Like we're like Rui came out of left field, right? So it's very possible. Like I still think the Lakers do something almost in a way to like just say, oh, well, we at least we did something. But I just think based on the information we have, because again, information has changed, I just think the Lakers are looking at it as like, if we get DeJounte, then that's our big move. If we don't, then we'll just wait till the offseason. It's kind of what I'm gathering from the information. Again, we will see. Time will tell. We'll know once we get to the trade deadline. I hope that they make a couple moves. I hope they make several moves. But I think more likely than not, that's kind of what it seems to be. It's DeJounte Murray or bust this season. Cam getting hurt was a momentum killer. Yeah, they definitely hurt. We were never going to win this game. I didn't really think so either. We need to raise our floor, yes. But I like the hustle. And if I'm being honest, no moral victories though. But I like the hustle. Yeah. Again, a loss is a loss, right? But there's still good takeaways from a loss. And I think this was a game where there was a good takeaway. I really liked how we played. What's going on, Daniel? Appreciate you being here. I still think Laurie deal is quietly happening. I hope so. I don't see it because I just don't think the Lakers have enough to get that done. But sign me up for some Laurie marketing. I am with that. Austin, Austin might as well not even be on the court tonight with how he played. Yeah, it was rough. LaVine is necessary. I am right there with you. Please trade AR. He's trash. Trade Reaves. I'm with you. We are not set if the trades don't include a big man. You can get a serviceable big man. There's still a couple of free agents out there that you could just kind of plug and play. You could always do a smaller deal. There's a couple like smaller minor guys out there. You just need somebody that can come in and just be a body for like 10 minutes. And that's not even counting guys that get bought out and all that stuff. So Doc Rivers, we could have had him. Like trial and error. AR with Murray and D'Lo. If it don't work, then D'Lo can go. That's kind of what I want. It's kind of like what I hope. I hope that like Rob Pelinka eventually comes around and just says, all right, let's trade D'Lo or let's trade Reaves. Go get DeJounte Murray, right? Because we would still have. Yeah, let's pull this up real quick. So let's say before our next game, let's see. Sorry, bear with me a second. Here we go. So we still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 games before the trade deadline. Our last game is February 5th. The trade deadline's February 8th, which is funny because we play the Denver Nuggets on the 8th. But if the Lakers were to do a trade before our next game, which is Thursday, right? So basically tomorrow, right? If the Lakers got that deal done, you would have 7 games to test how does D'Lo and DeJounte Murray look. And if it doesn't look good or it's a little rocky, then that gives you still, even after that 7th game, 3 days to find a trade for D'Lo, right? So I personally think that the Lakers should get it done sooner rather than later. That's just me. But I'm saying these Murray talks. I'm all for the change, though. Yeah, I get it. It's frustrating. It's just like, come on, do it already. I get it. Reaves for Murray now. Yep. We trash. You're not wrong. I was hopeful the Lakers would beat the Clippers without LeBron, but I did expect them to win. D'Lo has been outplaying Reaves. Keep D'Lo. I am right there with you. We both know who we actually need. I'm right there with you. Oh, come on. Being a Laker fan recently feels like going through a 5 stages of grief. Not wrong. That's exactly what it feels like. It's basically what it is, right? You just go through each stage, like in a half. You go through like all the stages. It's crazy. It is crazy. To be honest, I think the Lakers are doing anything. I mean, it's very possible they may just stand pat. So I hope not, though. It looked like AD was getting frustrated with Reaves. Get him out of here. Yeah, he's definitely because he just never finds him. Right, like AD's doing all the work, getting on the block, and like D'Lo's the only one that like actively looks for him. Like Reaves just gets too much tunnel vision. Trade Darvin Ham and Pelinka for Lauri Markkanen and a 3 first-round pick. Lakers either making no moves low key or going all in. I kind of feel like that. I kind of feel like again, I could see them making like a little minor move, like just again, maybe go get 1 or 2 like small pieces, like nothing like major, but just kind of like, oh, here's Andre Drummond, right? Here's Royce O'Neal, and then that's kind of it. They leave that alone. Or they just like, here's DeJounte Murray, here's Andre Drummond, here's basically what they did last year, kind of like go get 4, 5, 6, 7 guys. It's kind of what I think, but we'll see. Time will tell. Let's see. Andrew, they can't stand pat and punt the season. I don't think they can either. I don't think that they should. Again, LeBron James and Anthony Davis are just playing too good, right? Like you owe it to them to get something done. But the thing is, like Rob Pelinka's not going to do something just to do it, right? They're gonna if they're gonna do something, it's got to be the right thing. And again, maybe they will trade Reaves. Maybe it's just a negotiation tactic, right? You come in, the deal's getting done. It's just like, all right, fine, we'll give you Reaves, but we want a first, right? Or maybe they can't find a third team to take D'Lo or something, and it's like, all right, well, how do we get this done? Right. Well, okay, we want Reaves. Okay, fine. Then we'll give you Reaves, but give us your first. And, I mean, look, there was a lot of like just kind of conspiracies that LeBron James set out today to get a look at Reaves and D'Lo and kind of see who was going to be big, who was going to step up, who was going to be the more impactful guy. You never know. Maybe it was. Right? Maybe this was like a test to see. Like, all right, do we need D'Lo or are we trading Reaves? Or not Reaves? Reaves. Yeah. So I don't know. I'm time will tell. Time will tell. But I appreciate you. Another wasted year. Lakers just wasting LeBron's time on hunting stars. That never happened. Just get a real trade and a contender for championship. Now, problem is like, what is a real trade if it's not? Again, you go like, let's say the Lakers go get Dorian Finney-Smith, I don't even know who else. Like, because again, there's not like a ton of options out there. Like, there's not like who are the impact guys that you're going to come and bring in that are guaranteed to make you a contender, right? Again, I mean, even if you got Zach LaVine and let's say you got Zach LaVine and DeJounte Murray, that's still no guarantee that it makes you a contender. But my point is that like who's available that just boom, here you go. Here's the turnaround, right? And on top of that, you got to keep in mind, look, the Lakers could want and be willing to trade anything and everything, right? The Lakers could go to Atlanta right now and say, hey, we want to give you, like, all right, fine, we'll give you Austin Reaves. Let's get this done. And Atlanta could go, now we still want to wait till the trade deadline, right? Teams aren't in a rush to help the Lakers. You don't think teams are hoping that the Lakers between now and the trade deadline are like 5 games under 500 and their season's basically over, so it doesn't matter who they trade for, it's over. Of course they are. So that's the problem. Like, it's just trades have to go both ways. You can't force somebody to give you what you want at the price you want. You can't force somebody to even if you do meet their price, right? Like, let's say the Lakers are like, we'll give you Austin Reaves, we'll give you a first, we'll give you the pick swap, just give us Sadiq Bey and DeJounte Murray, and they go, that's perfect. We love that. We're down to do that, but we're not going to do that till the trade deadline. What do you do? So, yes, Jay, thank you so much. Yes, everyone, take a second, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button too. If you're not subscribed to the channel, hit that subscribe button. Austin plays better off the bench. Yes, I agree. Austin is a bench player. I think so too. I think it's 6-man. Couldn't get Anthony Davis to rock the last 4 minutes. Too mad. Lakers so trash. The Lakers look at AR like he's a hero or something. AD looked mad at the end of the game. Yeah, because he's not getting him the basketball. Give your star the basketball. Get out of the way instead of taking all these like silly different things. Reaves for Murray and D'Lo Reaves for Murray and D'Lo plus Rui plus first round pick for Klay Thompson. I'd stay away from Klay Thompson. He just makes way too much money for the kind of production he's giving now, and he still wants like a max contract, which you don't want to be in that position where you have to give him one now because you basically traded everything to get him. So I'd rather go get Zach LaVine because you wouldn't have to give up a first. You could just go get Zach LaVine, and it costs you pretty much the same amount as Klay Thompson. But I understand the logic. Wait, Tyler, did I see a video from you about a 3-team trade? Yes. So I've explored a couple different like options, a couple different ideas, but I also made a video. There was the reports that came out. There's a couple of them that came out that basically the Lakers and the Hawks are looking for a third team for D'Lo. That even the idea that like the trade is essentially like the foundation of the trade is worked out. Like they've worked out the foundation. They just need to find a third team to take D'Lo. That's what the more recent news is. That if the Lakers can find a third team for D'Lo, then they could get DeJounte Murray. My thing is like if you just include Austin Reaves instead of D'Lo, you don't have to spend time trying to find a third team. You get the deal done today. So that's kind of my thing. But I don't know. Hopefully we wake up tomorrow and there's a trade or something. Lakers banking on a star in the offseason who they don't know even for sure will be available. I better hope LeBron decides to stay for real. I just wasting Bron's time. Yeah. That's the problem is you're waiting. The Lakers have done this several times and have gotten burnt each time. Lakers did this with Paul George. Right? They could have went and traded for Paul George. They decided, why would we trade for Paul George when we could just sign him in free agency and not trade anything? So the Oklahoma City Thunder go and make a trade for Paul George, and Paul George says, I'm just going to re-sign with the Thunder because the Lakers clearly don't want me. And then the Lakers waited around and did everything because they thought that Kawhi Leonard was coming. In their defense, Kawhi Leonard was coming. Like, that was basically a lock until the Clippers went and traded for Paul George. If the Clippers didn't trade for Paul George, Kawhi was coming to the Lakers. So but that's the problem is like you never know what's going to happen. You never know until it's actually done. And my thing is that like, yes, maybe Donovan Mitchell becomes available, but a couple factors. One, does another team outbid you? Two, does Donovan Mitchell even want to come to the Lakers? Right? He's always been basically a number one option. If he comes to the Lakers, he's the number three option. Is he going to be okay with that? Is that something he's comfortable with? Right? Does he even want to play with LeBron and AD? Like some guys do, but not everybody. Right? So it's like now let's say Donovan Mitchell does become available and the Lakers do have enough to get him. But Donovan Mitchell's like, no, I want to be in New York. I want to be with the Nets or I want to be with the Knicks. Like I said I did last time I was available. Right? So now what? Now the Lakers don't do anything and now you just wasted another season when you could have gotten somebody. My thing is like one in the hand is worth two in the bush. You can get somebody right now that is an all-star. Again, I'm not super high on DeJounte Murray, but he's better than the guards we have. So if you can go get him, go get him. Trade Reaves, go get him. And then figure it out. Figure it out from there. Let's see. JHS needs to be in the G League. He'd be trash in trash minutes. Like absolutely not. Yeah. He has been in the G League. He's actually been killing it in the G League this year. Like he's been really good in the G League. Really good. He just had like two back-to-back game-winning games. Wait till they trade D'Lo, Charlotte, Spurs, Wizards, Lakers, Pistons, San Jose State. Wait till they trade D'Lo. And funny, AD is actually healthy and playing good. Yeah, which is crazy. AD, I saw some stat that like AD has played or is tied for the most games played since like midway through last year. Something like that. Something crazy like that. Tyler, who do you think is a better player? Jalen Brunson, Tyrese Halliburton, without a doubt. Tyrese Halliburton that dude is a stud. But they're also very different players. Like Brunson is a scorer, undersized. Tyrese Halliburton is just like a do everything. That Tyrese Halliburton may end up going down as like an all-time great. Like for real. Like he might go down as like this dude is ridiculous. So but we'll see. Sean, coming out with the $5 super chat. Thank you so much, Sean. Really appreciate it. We had the potential to be a top 3 team. We were just really unlucky starting the season with so many injuries. Yeah, I mean, the injuries were definitely a part of it, but also just like the team underperformed, right? Like the in-season tournament games, like even early on, we were talking about it and just like yelling and joking and laughing about how like, man, if every game was an in-season tournament game, the Lakers would be undefeated, right? Like, because it just, the effort was different, right? It's like when the in-season tournament games were played, you just saw the Lakers pick it up a notch, which is why I think if the Lakers make the playoffs, I still like their chances, even if they don't do anything. Problem is, can they get to the playoffs is the problem. But I just, before the season began, though, I did say that I thought this team was going to be really good, but I wouldn't have been shocked if they were anywhere between like the 3 to the 5 seed, just because I didn't think that they would care so much about seeding. I didn't think that they would be this. I didn't think they'd be basically out of the play-in entirely at this point. So it's just like it's a rough spot to be in. But I just I don't know. We need to do something. Guys just aren't playing good enough. Like the depth, the talent, the coaching. It's just they're just not good enough right now. I definitely think injuries played a part in it early on, but even then, like for the last like month or so, we basically have had everybody but Gabe Vincent, and it's been our worst stretch. Right? I mean, we were better when we had the injuries. Literally, we were better when we had the injuries than we are right now, which is just it's crazy. And again, I don't know what the answer is without pulling off some type of impact trade. Right? You got to go get like I said, you got to get at least 2 or 3 guys, because if you can get 2 or 3 guys that are like real impact guys, I think that would give you enough to really kind of make a push to kind of turn the season around. But it's frustrating. It's frustrating for sure. And look, I still have faith. I still have belief, right? I don't want to I'm riding with them till the wheels fall off, but it's just like, come on. Is a trade going to happen? Or Sean, again, thank you so much. Is a trade going to happen or what? I sure hope so. I do. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later. Rui is trash. I don't think he's trash. I just think he's not utilized properly, and two, he's just never going to get the opportunity as long as LeBron's on this roster. Yeah, like Jay said, Rui isn't spectacular enough in his role. Yeah, because he's not playing the role that he's best at. He's not in the position that he's best at. D'Lo 80 and Vando gives you a double-double, and we still lose, man. Give AD some help, yeah. Need it. They need to stop beating around the bush and get LaVine, Caruso, and Drummond. Let's see. The Clippers were also without Zubac. I fear they will make some noise for a legit run. Yeah. Clippers have the best record since the trade. Since making the trade. Rui and Reaves should be what we trade. Reaves will yield us a nice piece, and we can pull the center for Rui. Let's do it. Yes. Sorry, trying to find something to me real quick. You could tell when he was tired. Yeah. I mean, he's been working his tail off the last handful of games. Last 10 games, he's been ridiculous. Keep D'Lo, free Rui, trade Reaves, waive Gabe. I still think, if you can't trade Gabe, I still think you keep him because he'll show up in the playoffs, and he'd be a good point of attack guy again if he could stay healthy, if he can get healthy. Let's see. Caruso will take all the tough assignments. LaVine will get the buckets. Drummond will be that physical presence. It's just too perfect. Chicago's got what we need. I am with you. I like the idea of Chicago trade. I just don't think the Lakers are going to do it because of the injuries. Effort. LaVine is a no-go. Yeah, it's looking that way. It really is. Again, I like the idea of LaVine. I just don't think the Lakers are going to do it at this point. I'll trade Reaves for anything. I wouldn't trade him for anything, but definitely think that he should be on the trade block. AD seemed frustrated with Reaves. The Lakers will make a huge mistake by keeping Reaves and trading D'Lo. It should be the other way around. I've been a keep D'Lo fan since the Ohio State days. Keep him. Yeah, I love me some D'Lo, and I think he just can fit with whatever you need, and that's the beauty. Sean, coming out $2 super chat. Thank you so much. We also should stop getting players from Miami. FX. It's like we're 2 for 2 in Miami guards that end up missing the whole season. It's just frustrating. It really is. No, my hope is, again, he comes back, he's healthy, he's good, he's ready to go, and maybe he can, right the ship and be a big impact for us, right? Problem is even when he did play, he was terrible. He was before he got injured again. Well, before the first injury, he was 1 of 15 from 3. And then he came back and he was 1 of 5 from 3 in the 2 games he came back from. So he's 2 of 20 or something like that from 3-point range this season. It's crazy. So I don't know. It's but yeah, I am with you. We need to stay away from Miami players. You got that right. Why is Mitchell even a part of the convo? Can we afford him and have a team left? We could in the offseason. Right now, we wouldn't be able to trade for him. If he became available today, Lakers have no chance. Never say never, but more likely than not, they have no chance. I wonder how much Reaves value drops each game. You get to see him be mid and non-existent, which is my concern. That is my genuine concern, is that what's going to happen is we're going to keep him, and then we're going to look to trade him next season or something like that, and teams are going to care less. Teams are going to be like, he's trash. We don't want him. Donovan Mitchell and Anthony Davis, pretty good duo next year when LeBron leaves. That'd be ridiculous. I don't think LeBron leaves next year. I really don't. LeBron's not here for just basketball reasons. Can you please tell me what's the point Lakers keeping Reaves? What's his worth? The idea is that it's just financial flexibility, or primarily future financial flexibility, staying under the various aprons and stuff. But look at all the top teams in the league; they're all over the apron. So again, I think you do it. Murray doesn't shoot threes as well. Rather keep D'Lo. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I don't think D'Lo. I don't think Murray is D'Lo and two firsts better. Um, let's see. Um, LeBron might leave, bro. His son might get drafted by the Spurs. Even if he gets drafted, he's not going to leave yet. He's going to go play with the son eventually, but he's not going to leave yet. He's still got to wait for his other son. So he'll probably be with the Lakers another year or two. Andrew, coming off the $5 super chat. I don't understand the idea of punt the season for a small chance at Spada when our window is extremely small and Braun and AD are healthy and good. I don't either. So I don't think it's necessarily that the Lakers want to punt the season. I think it's more of like, and again, I don't know this. I'm just guessing, but I think what it is like I was talking about earlier, is DeJounte Murray or bust. But that is predicated on, can we find a third team? If they can't find a third team and they can't get DeJounte Murray, then I think they look at it as like, okay, well then we might as well wait till the offseason. And in the offseason, maybe Donovan Mitchell and Trae Young become available, or somebody else, right? Maybe Joel Embiid becomes available, or maybe somebody else becomes available. And at that point, we'd have 3 first-round picks, pick swaps, we'd have seconds, we'd have a bunch of tradable salaries and stuff. Maybe we could go get that third star, go get that big impact player, go get that guy. I don't think it's necessarily that they want to punt the season. I just think they're looking at it as like, if we can't find anything that makes sense, then we'll just ride the season out and somebody will be available next season, right? Again, you're taking a gamble in that regard, but every year some star becomes available. Like some star wants out or is disgruntled or frustrated or whatever, right? So I just think that, there is a good chance that somebody becomes available in the offseason. It's just, again, you basically be throwing away the season unless something crazy comes around or turns around or whatever. But again, time will tell. I would love to wake up tomorrow and get some like, hey, Lakers trade for Zach LaVine or trade for Murray or trade for somebody. Murray would be an excellent pickup, but Atlanta doesn't want D'Lo, which is why I think that they should just trade Reaves. Just trade Reaves. It gives you 7 games to figure it out with D'Lo. And if it doesn't work, you trade D'Lo and you're good. And you're off to the races. We play Chicago on Thursday. Caruso coming home. If the Lakers do a trade with Chicago, I don't think it happens till after that game, because that's the last time that they play them this year. So if Chicago was to trade even just Zach LaVine, it probably doesn't happen until after. We waited for Kawhi and Paul George. Yeah, I was saying the exact same thing. That's a real concern, a real issue. Braun didn't say he was going to the team. His son is on the second he gets drafted. He might get sent to G League for all we know. No shade. Yeah, he's not. Again, he's going to be here at least another year or two. They said D'Lo was going to go 0-11 against good teams. What happened? I know people just be talking, man. Like I heard show me, oh, he can't show up against good teams. He can't do it. Like, you must not watch, or not you specifically, Johnny, but I'm talking about all the naysayers. Like you must not be watching D'Lo. The problem is too is that a lot of people don't know what they're talking about. They just are piling on because other people are. It's the herd mentality, right? You get this wave of people that are like, D'Lo's trash, blah blah blah, and then everyone just kind of spews that same thing. And it's like, well, what do you think? Why do you think D'Lo's trash? And they never have a real answer. Oh, because and they just spew the stuff that somebody else already said. And it's like, if you just actually watch them play, or you actually like looked stuff up, you would see that it's not true. I am with you, Johnny. He is him. Zach missed both Laker games yet. I would not want Trae Young either. So the video I made earlier today, I literally went like that. I had the part about Donovan Mitchell, and then I had the part about Trae Young, and the entire Trae Young part was me basically saying I don't want Trae Young. Could we see a trade go down tonight? Probably not. Well, I mean, depending on where you are, I guess it'd be tomorrow, the 24th. But I mean, I would hope so. I would like it. I wouldn't get my hopes up though. I wouldn't. What's going on, Lee? I appreciate you being here. If LaVine, for some reason, didn't work out, a package of LaVine and 2 firsts and a second would work better than Rui, Reaves, Vincent, and 3 firsts from. I don't know, because of his long-term salary. It's a lot of money. A lot of teams don't have the money to do it. LeBron's not ducking no smoke. Relax. Didn't LeBron play the last game and we smacked them? Like, relax. Drop a trade tonight. It was reported saying that the locker room was sad Sunday after the win. And by the way, what was wrong with Braun today? Just rest, I hope. Yeah, it was kind of just precautionary. Is basically what it looks like. But it would be nice to get a trade. We stepped on our own key free throws, turnovers, and layups. We turned up the D. We should have won. 6% coach, in my honest opinion. Yeah, this was a very winnable game. Watching Austin is so frustrating. I am right there with you. See how important LeBron is. Their offense stagnant. Looks like they didn't know what they were doing. I mean, again, LeBron James. Let's see. I really hope we can go get Nick Richards and a 3-and-D player. I would love Nick Richards. He would be solid. And he's super cheap. Pissed if we wait till the off season, waste the season for real. Mainly Braun because he's old. Yes, I am right there with you. All right. I'm gonna power through. Let's power through a couple more rows of comments, and then I'm gonna skate on out of here. Obviously, any super chats I'll prioritize, but I'm gonna power through a couple more because I need to set up some stuff. It's getting late. And like I got like no sleep last night. I'm exhausted today. So I want to try to get some sleep at a reasonable time. Plus, every morning I gotta wake up super early because like all the trade talk and stuff. And I'm like, oh man, we're gonna have a trade today. Like, and then I wake up and we did today, the Terry Rozier thing. So Tyler, what reason would Rob not want to make a trade? What do you think the percentages are in regard to making a trade by the deadline? I think Rob Pelinka does something. I don't think it's that Rob wouldn't want to make a trade. I absolutely think Rob Pelinka wants to make a trade. I think he's actively trying to find it. We know he's talked to several teams and is actively trying to find a trade. The only way I think a trade doesn't happen is because it's just not worth it, right? Again, like if you can't find a third team for D'Lo, what happens, right? Then you have to give up all these assets, and then you get Reaves. And let's say they're like, yeah, we'll take Reaves, but we still want the 2 firsts. Like, is that really worth? Like, does DeJounte Murray by himself really turn your season around? I don't think Rob would do it, right? It just depends on what's available. The only way I see like a trade not happening is because there just isn't one to be had, right? Like, there's not like, because again, just because things are reported doesn't mean that they're necessarily true. I mean, we hear things all the time. Right. I mean, it was reported several times that Kyrie was headed to the Lakers. I mean, they just re-reported it a week ago, right? Like that Kyrie was headed to the Lakers. There was literally reports that the deal was done and that they were just finalizing things. And guess what? He ended up going to the Dallas Mavericks. Now, that was because of Joe Tsai. Joe Tsai said, I'm not sending him to the Lakers. He kind of got a stick in his behind and that, but that's my point. Is like you never really know. This team isn't going anywhere. We're 6-15 on the road. Yes, which is a big problem because you have to win on the road, especially these Lakers. Because we need one. Waiting is crazy. Then it was just a filler season. I should have just kept the team we had last year and added Prince and Wood. Dennis would have been playing Vincent all year. Yeah, I am with you. Rui, Reaves, Murray +2 first can get you a star also. Yes. Dorian Finney-Smith is in a slump right now. It's low-key crazy. Still want him, though. I still want him to. I know I've had a lot of people be like, oh, look at what he's doing right now. Like, you really want that guy? Like, yes. Guys go through slumps. Like, what has he done his entire career? I'm not worried about, like, a handful of games. Right now, obviously, there's a concern about him continuing that coming to Lakers because that's just how people go. But he's a guy that you take your chance with. I mean, he's a veteran. He's been there. He's done that. Look at what Torian Prince is doing. And not just that, like, the Brooklyn Nets have zero playmaking, like zero. So like a lot of his shots, he's having to like create by himself, and that's not really his game, right? Like put him alongside LeBron and D'Lo and let them create for him. That dude will turn it around in no time. If they was older, they said that they wanted Reaves sent him. That's my thinking too. Like they want Reaves, here you go, take him. Maybe go watch Gabe Vincent highlights on what he does in the playoffs. Yeah, that's what I was mentioning earlier. Let's see. I don't understand why. Lakers management got a big crush on Reaves. I think it's just because he's young. He's got a good IQ. Like he's not a terrible player, right? He's just not like we need him to be better than what he is, right? If you had Reaves and we had like 3 or 4 guys, right? Like if Reaves was literally our 6th man, then Reaves would be perfect. But we need him to basically be our 3rd or 4th guy, and that's just not who he is this year. He's just not good enough, right? So I think the way that they're looking at it is like, well, if we keep Reaves, like if you get DeJounte Murray, now Reaves is definitively the 3rd option. So now what if he has his bad games, he has his bad moments, you don't have to be so reliant on Reaves. But so I think that the Lakers are kind of looking at it as like he gives us more flexibility long term. On top of him giving us more flexibility, if we keep him over like a D'Lo or whatever, then and I also think part of it is DeJounte Murray. I think part of it is like, okay, if we're gonna get DeJounte Murray, it doesn't make sense to keep D'Lo. I think that's kind of how they're looking at it too. I think they're kind of looking at it as like, well, D'Lo is best as the point guard, but if we trade for a point guard, then what's the point of keeping a point guard? We might as well just keep Reaves because then Reaves can play as the 6th man. He can come off the bed. He can do whatever. Like, I think that's my guess on how it's probably looking. But I don't see why we holding on to Reaves so bad. Oh, I was just diving into that. So, what's special about Reaves? Again, I think it's just the circumstances. We back to the Minneapolis Lakers. That's great. See, the problem is we basically stayed pat this offseason while other teams went and got better. I mean, we did get better. It just didn't work out. Like, again, this offseason, we were looking like we were stacked. Like, we were ready to go. Scheduled loss, not going to lie. D'Lo made me proud tonight. Yeah. Bobby, first off, thank you so much for Super Chat. Secondly, yes, D'Lo was everything that we wanted, right? He continues to improve. He continues to play well. He continues to prove that he's that guy. I just think that they should keep him. I really do. I just think he's too valuable. But again, I appreciate you. All right, let's do a couple more here, and then I'm gonna skate on out of here. Lowry is a good buyout option. I'd be happy if we either him or CP3. Yes, I actually wanted to make a video about Lowry. I'll probably do that at some point, but I had a couple other things I want to talk about. A couple things I want to vent and rant about tomorrow, so we'll do that. Rather trade Reaves if the plan is to really get Murray, D'Lo. I would be a better off-ball player than Reaves. Yeah, especially the way he's playing this year. If we do the Bulls trade, we can get our assets back with Caruso and league value him as a first-round pick player. Yes, I would be all for that. Y'all think AR has peaked and they asked him to join the Olympic team? Tyler, you're included in this question as well. I think there's a real chance that he peaked. I look, I talked about it earlier, right? Like I think he's closer to his ceiling than his floor. I so I've said this before. Like, is he as good as he was last year? Probably not. Is he as bad as he's been this year? Probably not. Right? Because I think he's a better 3-point shooter than he's been this year. Right? We've seen him be better defensively than he was this year. Right? So I think he's somewhere in the middle. I think again, if he's like your fifth, sixth best player, you're probably in really good shape. Like, look at Alex Caruso. If Alex Caruso is like your third or fourth best player, you're probably not winning a championship. But Alex Caruso is like your fifth, sixth, seventh best player. He is incredible, right? Like you look at the Lakers, right? You had like LeBron James, Anthony Davis, KCP, Kyle Kuzma, all these guys, and then you had Alex Caruso. Alex Caruso, high IQ, made good plays, hit big shots, played good defense, did everything, right? Obviously, Reaves isn't the defender that Caruso is, but Caruso isn't the offensive player that Reaves is, right? So you have this balance, you have this two various coins, but I just think Reaves, we need him right now to be our arguably our third best player. And he's just not that. Right? We need him to basically do what D'Lo's doing while D'Lo's doing what he's doing. And we would probably be one of the best teams in the league. Problem is that Reaves is not that. Like Reaves isn't your third best player. Reaves is like your fifth, sixth, seventh best player. So that's my problem. Has he peaked? I don't necessarily think so. If you had the pieces you need, and that's kind of one of the reasons why I think the Lakers are looking at it is like if we were to get DeJounte Murray, we wouldn't have as much of a need for D'Lo. But if we get DeJounte Murray and like another piece or two, right, and Reaves can go be our sixth man, then now he's extremely valuable again. That's kind of what I think. And then when Reaves has his bad games, it's not as impactful. It's not as important. Like if he has a terrible game, you still can win those games because he's your fifth, sixth guy. But when he's supposed to be your third or fourth guy, you're very limited on the amount of bad games he can have. Is my problem. But I miss 2020 Lakers. They'll never have that much firepower again. We're going to give a first with DeJounte, and it doesn't move the needle at all, which is my concern. I mean, I think DeJounte would make us better. I just don't know how much better. All right, like there's a world where the Lakers get DeJounte Murray, and he's ridiculous for us in a good way, right? I mean, if he could go back to Spurs DeJounte Murray, but keep this 40% 3-point shooting, then the Lakers would be terrifying. I just don't know if he's going to do that. Right? Like I worry about his defense. I worry about his off-ball play. I worry about like his shooting, dropping, all of that. But anyway, I'm gonna get on out of here. Like I said, it's already 10:40, and I want to get some videos and stuff and things together and all that stuff. So I'm gonna get on out of here, and then we'll definitely talk in comments. Sorry, I'm like reading multitasking. We'll definitely talk in the comments, stuff like that, in the various videos. I got some stuff that I want to rant about, but I want to try not to be up till 4 a.m. So I'm gonna get on out of here, everyone. I appreciate you guys. You guys are awesome. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on your way out. If you're not subscribed, seriously, guys mean a ton. Everyone that gave me super chats, seriously, thank you so much. It really does mean a ton. You have no idea how much it helps me, really. And hopefully we wake up tomorrow and there's a trade, right? That's my hope. But anyway, again, I will. I'll see you guys on Thursday. Yeah, so Thursday, unless the trade.